Welcome to Here for the Gear. Today we're going to be looking at the top 8 floor standing speakers that will make your home theater or stereo system sound amazing. And we're going to start right now. Your floor standing speakers are probably the first thing people will notice when they step foot in your home theater or listening area aside from your screen. So not only do you want them to sound amazing, you also want them to look beautiful as well. We did have to keep this at a reasonable budget, so you're not going to be seeing the Martin Logan Neolith $80,000 a pair speakers here. This listing is based on what I've heard and seen, so your taste might be a little bit different from mine, and I do totally respect that. I'm just trying to give you some information to point you in the right direction. Everyone will have their own opinion, and I look forward to seeing yours as well. Please make sure you stick around to the end of the video for a little tip on the speakers. Let's get right to the list. The Canadian company Fluance has made some really nice three-ways here with their signature series floor standing speakers. They have certainly used a wide variety of material in creating these units. The 1-inch metallic tweeter, the 5-inch tightly woven glass fiber mid, and the rubber-like woofers make these sound a little out there, but after you hear them, it will all, as the song goes, come together. One feature I liked about them was they had magnetic grills for the front, and another feature that was nice was the outriggers for improved stability and a wider footprint. These are rated at up to 200 watts and deliver a frequency range between 35 and 20,000 Hz. Not bad at all for speakers of this price range. The SVS Prime Towers are some pretty sweet speakers for their price range. SVS is really noted for their subwoofers and bass that will take it to the limit, as the song goes. And these speakers with their dual 6.5-inch woofers can push some pretty good bass. They also have a single 4.5-inch mid and a 1-inch tweeter. One thing I wasn't crazy about with these speakers was because they push so much bass, it could drown out the highs. The speakers also have single poles, so bi-amping is not an option if you're a fan of that setup. Back to the good, they do feature dual ports on the back, so moving a lot of air for those subwoofers is not a problem. And the spikes on the bottom are adjustable, so the speakers can stay level. They're rated at a hefty 250 watts and have a frequency range of between 30 and 25,000 Hz. Not shabby at all. Martin Logan is world famous for their electromotion speakers which use a thin film to generate sound. Very cool concept, but also very expensive, ranging from $6,500 to $80,000 a pair. Wow. The Motion 60 XT speakers are produced by them as well. Not near as high dollar, though equally amazing sound. These speakers feature dual 8-inch aluminum woofers and a 6.5-inch aluminum mid, but the one thing you'll notice that is unique is the tweeter. It almost looks like a mesh. That's because that's exactly what it is. But because it's rectangular in shape, it has a bigger footprint, so it doesn't have to work as hard to push as much air as a circular tweeter. These speakers are rated at a staggering 400 watts and deliver a frequency range of 35 to 25,000 Hz. They have double poles on the back, which have the ability for bi-amping, not to mention they are simply beautiful, classy-looking speakers. Klipsch does nothing but improve their speakers with every generation they produce, and the RP-280Fs are no exception. Although the RP-280s are not the biggest on the list, they are some of the easiest to recognize with Klipsch's signature copper color woofers. The RP-280s house dual ceramic 8-inch woofers. It also has a 1-inch tweeter which, instead of staying round, feeds into a square-shaped horn. This is kind of unique. It features a single port on the back for airflow and also has dual posts in case you want to bi-amp these speakers. They have a response rate from 32 to 25,000 Hz and are rated at 150 watts per channel continuous and 600 peak, so they can handle some pretty good power. And if you want to take it to the next level, literally, you can also check out the Klipsch RP-280F A for Atmos. It has a third speaker built on top for height, as long as your receiver has output to support it. Make sure you check out my video linked below for receivers. If you are literally looking for a good bang for your buck, these will give it to you. The Definitive Technology BP9060s aren't simply your ordinary speakers. These units house a 1-inch aluminum dome tweeter as well as dual 4.5-inch mid-range woofers. But the kicker for this setup is the speaker also has a built-in amplifier and a 10-inch subwoofer built into it, as well as two 10-inch bass radiators or passive subwoofers. Not that I would ever say never use an independent sub, but each of your towers having its own? Wow! This gives these speakers a rate response of 18 to 40,000 hertz. These speakers are also compatible with the DefTech Atmos speaker module, which I've also linked to as well. You can remove the metal plate on top and place the A90 expansion module in its place, and then you'll be able to project the Atmos sound. Pretty cool concept. At the number 1 slot on the list, we have the Kef R500. When I think about Kef, I think about Rolls-Royce, and that's because they are both made in England to the highest standards. The R500s feature dual 5¼ inch woofers, but what is unique to these speakers is their Uni-Q array, which is in between the woofers. This is where the 5½ inch mid sits, with the tweeter right in the heart of it, so that the sound will have the illusion of coming from the same place. Because sound waves at higher frequencies are smaller, the more offset they are from the center, the easier it is to tell where they originate compared to, say, a larger subwoofer, which is producing lower tones. The Uni-Q array doesn't have that issue because all your ultra-highs and mids originate from the exact same point compared to speakers that have a tweeter, a mid, and a woofer all in a vertical line. These speakers have ultra-crisp and clear sound to them, whether it's movies or music you're listening to. They also have the ability to be bi-amped as long as your receiver has the ability to support this. Make sure you follow the instructions on your speakers as well if you do this. They are rated at up to 150 watts and have a frequency response from 46 to 28,000 hertz. They feature the adjustable spiked outriggers to make sure your speakers are perfectly level, as well as have dual vents on the back so there is always plenty of airflow for those woofers. Truly beautiful European masterpieces with these Kef R500s. Well, I hope you enjoyed my reviews there, and as I mentioned at the beginning, I was going to give you a very important tip with your speakers. This is crucial whether you have a surround sound setup or even just a simple pair of stereo speakers. You want to make sure your speakers are not simply pointed straight out into the room. You want to angle them inwards to your listening area. This technique is called towing. Imagine this, and pardon the crudity of my graphics. You see the speakers face straight out, and the sound waves do not meet and give the listener the perfect stereo sweet spot, if you will, on the couch. But if you angle them in or tow them, they do. Sometimes it requires moving the speakers just a little bit and maybe adjusting your audio levels to get it just right, but the end result is amazing. Then if you add back speakers, they can be tweaked using the same technique. Glad you were here. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time on Here for the Gear.